haven't done justice to the point of the family and their support for him. We have a document from a woman who herself was a Presbyterian, who speaks of Joseph's early life when she, as a girl, much younger apparently, came and watched him with others of the boys working in her father's farm. The enemies of Joseph Smith have made out over and over that he was shiftless, lazy, indolent, never did a day's work in his life. The truth? Exactly the contrary. Nibley had pointed out in passing, by the way, that the stories radically contradict each other. On the one hand, we hear of this shiftless person who's always telling stories aimlessly and never doing a hard day's work. And in the next breath, the anti-Mormon tracts point out that every night at midnight he's out with his crew digging for silver or buried treasure or something and never finding it, which is hardly indolent, it's overactive. The truth is that, according to this account, a non-Mormon account, her father hired Joseph because he was such a good worker. Not only that, because he was able to get the other boys to work. The suspicion is that the way he did that was with a fairly deft use of his fists. I've noticed that as a suspicion. I don't say that's the truth, but I personally believe from long study that one of the feelings he had of unworthiness, one of the things he was praying for forgiveness for, and he did pray for forgiveness prior to the coming of Moroni, was this physical propensity. He was so strong and so able, so muscular, that was one way he had of solving problems. And he did not feel that was consonant with one who, as he had been, had received a divine commission. Well, this girl says that on an occasion, the minister came to her home and said that the boy Joseph, well known in the community, had claimed to have a vision. And this minister pled with the man who had hired Joseph to refuse to hire him and treat him rough, because he said he was setting the neighborhood in an uproar. The father replied, no, he earns his money, he's a good worker, and I don't care about it, whatever he claims religiously. As a matter of fact, the phrase is interesting he uses. He says, well, he doesn't use the word vision, he says, well, it was the sweet dream of a pure-minded boy. That's before. But then shortly, the daughter reports, Joseph claimed to have had another vision, this time leading to the translation of a book. And the minister came again, and at this point, he turned against Joseph. But she adds significantly, by then, it was too late. Joseph Smith had a following. Well, the family did support and love. There is no greater example of total familial endurance in history than the Smith family. And though they had, of course, their ups and downs, and though William Smith is almost as insecure and unsteady as Hiram Smith was loyal and unyielding in his faith, nevertheless, overall, one of the strengths of the history of this church is that the first family held true to each other, and that the father would say, as he did, my son, do not be disobedient to this heavenly vision.